Hi guys, this is Sean in my second video in my beginner series. Last time I did this over there in the daytime. It was just a little bit bright, and I thought I'd try it at night in front of my altar this time. So this video is going to be about ingredients, not tools, ingredients. Tools are going to be next week, and we're just going to be going into not just any ingredients, but free ingredients, free or cheap ingredients around you. So, with no further ado, I will just dive right in. My first topic is trees. Almost everyone has access to a tree. You can just go outside, go to your front yard, go to the park. If you're in the country, you have plenty of trees. Every tree has its own correspondence. It has its own properties that you can tap into. A couple of examples are the first one, oak. Its properties are strength and protection. You want something strong, and oftentimes homes are built with a tree, an oak tree specifically, in their front yard. And many of the trees that are harder woods, or the more sturdy, long-lasting ones, are protection. And they are usually planted in front of or around a home or neighborhood for reasons we have lost over the ages, but as a society, but we know better. They are for protection, and are often really good allies in your spell work, especially home protection. If you have one outside, set it as part of your perimeter. Put a crystal in the base, and bury it with the tree. That way, sort of charge it. Another one is pine. Pine is with immortality and strength through adversity. This is because it's an evergreen, and like many evergreens, with the strength through adversity and immortality, it doesn't die the same as other trees. It doesn't follow the same life cycles, and it lasts through the harshness of winter, and that is something that can be really, really helpful in some of your spells, and it's free, like I said. Another one is cottonwood. Cottonwood, it's another one that has protection, but it also has energy. So it's sort of like a high energy, very vigorous tree, lots of vitality. Can also be used with vitality and strength. Excuse me. I've been doing a lot of talking today. Next, we're going to go to plants. Of course, with trees, there are plenty of other trees with other properties. Those are just some of the more regular ones, the ones that I encounter in my life. Some plants, a plant that everybody encounters is grass. It's everywhere, and it goes well with psychic powers, protection, and abundance. And I think for me personally, I also like to use it with strength through adversity, because we're constantly cutting it down, shaping it, controlling it. We trot on it. We do so much to it, and it still thrives and pops up and everything else. So I think that's a really good use for grass. Another one is dandelion. Oftentimes in spring or summertime, you will find dandelions in your yard or on the side of the road. They are really good for divination, wishes, calling spirits, and healing. I think that's things that all of us can have. I think all of us grew up blowing on the dead dandelions, or dead to most people, but full of magical energy to us. So I think that's something that take us back to our childhood, and I think some of us could even use them in inner child work, which would be cool. Honeysuckle, this is one from my childhood. We had it everywhere. So, intuition, sweetening a mood, similar to how honey does, sharpening the mind. And you can find honeysuckle literally so many places. Another one is sunflower. Sunflower is sun energy. It's very masculine, energetic, creative, and everything with the color orange or yellows or reds. A lot of that, depending on the type of sunflower, can be incorporated. To go with that is my little thing. I have a little shrine to nature and nature spirits going here, and I keep little I have rose petals and little droppings from orchids. I also have sunflower, and these are just things that, like the sunflower I got off the side of the road because it grows like crazy here, and I use them in a bouquet. And then when they were dying, I pulled them off and I put them in here so that they could continue to serve a purpose. Waste not, want not. And then, you know, moms get bouquets of flowers, and when they get old, they throw them out. You know, I think that's just a little bit too wasteful. And so just let your mom know, or just in secret if you have to, take the flowers from the trash as she throws them away, or just before she throws them away, and put them, use them, put them to use. I have rose petals and rose, flattened rose buds in my Book of Shadows on the Love Spell pages. Endless, a myriad of ways to use it. So just go for it. Another category is dirt. It's there. It's one of those like grass that it's everywhere and you don't really think about it, but there are a couple different dirts that you should think about in your spells. The first one is bank dirt for prosperity spells, opening doors and pathways, and just general abundance and money. Another is school dirt for academic achievement, studying, concentration, all those sorts of things. You can use them in. Another one is grave dirt. I use this one personally, but I use a little bit of a twist on it. Grave dirt can be used in spirit work. What I do is I use not only grave dirt, but I use dirt from my mother's plot to connect me to my ancestors. I have it right here on my ancestor altar here. I have dirt from my mother's grave. It's Oklahoma dirt, so it's clay-like. Anyway, so that can get you spirit work, but if you use your from ancestors' land or ancestors' plots, you can connect not only to the spirits, but to specifically the spirits of ancestors. That would also maybe go with grass from their plots. Another dirt that you should take into account is dirt from your home and the surrounding. If you're in like a RV like I am, wherever you're parked, apartment complex, wherever you're at, the dirt from around you, that can, especially in home protection spells, witch bottles, it can root you and your spell to locations. So instead of just saying protect my home, now it will have something from the area. It will bind the spell sort of like a tag lock to location rather than just a general my home. That is something else to think about. Other things that you can use are broken glass. I have a jar of it right here, and some witches use it in witch bottles, other protection spells. Generally for protection, things like nails or thumbtacks, things like that, are all used for in witch bottles and the like. Many of them don't do anything else to it. They just have a glass or other type of container, and they have glass and thumbtacks and rusty nails and other things like barbed wire, things like that. In fact, I have some barbed wire that I'm going to add to this later. And so they can just add and add and add, and it really adds up to quite the protection. But the thing about things like that, the sharp things, the broken glass, etc., is when they're protecting you, not only are they protecting you, but as the negativity comes back, it turns it back and it sort of stabs back or bites back. So it's protection with a bite, and I think that's really interesting and sort of a instant karma type effect that your attacker or whoever's sending the bad energy can won't maybe be expecting as much. Another thing, mirrors. They are windows to other realms, portals to other realms. They are said to sometimes be inhabited by spirits, can be used to trap spirits or kill spirits by shattering their reflection. In different myths and legends, of course, there's probably a bit more to it than that. Just a common story told to many people, not just witches. So, using mirrors, you can use it to look into other realms, but keep in mind, you can also use it to look into yourself, the realm within you. I use a mirror in an ongoing manifestation spell. And I use Mosh Posh, and I make layers of sigils and spells and pictures and things out of magazines, things that I find positive that I want to bring into my life. And I just make a layer. And then I sort of reflect, pun intended, on that image, the collage. And then I keep adding to it, and I'll just once a week or however often something occurs to me, whether it's every day or every 3 months, I will add something else to that mirror, and I will just make layer after layer over time. And the idea is, you make a layer and you're working on that layer and and actively working on it, reflecting on it often, have it somewhere prominent in your practice so that you can reflect on it quite often. And while you're reflecting on it, you can also actively work towards it. Don't put "I want a job" on there if you're not willing to go put in the applications. But by the time you make another layer, you hopefully, and the goal is to have achieved the layer below. And so it sort of evolves and grows as your life grows. So I think that's a really beautiful way, and it's supposed to just reflect your intended future. And I think that's the symbolism, is that it's supposed to reflect your future, the future you envision. And I think that's something that you can use. Other things, water. I like to collect rainwater. Some don't have the luxury. They live in somewhere where it's illegal, or it's not allowed. Some apartment complexes make it a little bit difficult. But I collect rainwater. You can use tap if you have to, although it's not recommended because they've got so many additives and other contaminations, such as is going on in Flint right now. But collecting rainwater and then charging it with your energy, charging it with the energy of thunderstorms and snowstorms, and charging it with the energy of the sun and the moon. You can do so much with water, but I think while the water is free and it's a free ingredient that you can use, also keep in mind, it's not just water. It's the energy you infuse it with. So you can use without the water, the energies of the sun, energies of the moon, and they each have their own correspondences that you can look up. So many other energies as well, dualities and other things. Working with a deity. I don't personally work with a deity in the way, in the sense of, from various myths. I have my own idea of the universe that sort of includes all of those, but doesn't force me to worship one. But working with deity, working with the energy of the universe is free. Light and dark, those are both very real, very usable energies. And light does not mean good, and dark does not mean evil. Keep that in mind. You can use pencil and paper. Sigil magic uses pencil and paper, and it is almost free. If you have pencil and you have paper, you're good. Light and dark concepts, the actual energy of light and dark, those as well. Sun and moon, stars, astrology is free. Another cheap way is, what's in your cupboard? Do you have basil in your cupboard, or ground sage, rubbed sage in some cases? Do you have cinnamon? Do you have all of these ingredients? Cayenne. I have cayenne in my cupboard that I use in cooking because spicy is life, and I use that in my own personal spells to give it just a kick, often in love spells to give, spice up the romance. Any number of uses. And these are just a couple of the free things. There's any number of free things that you can go forward and look into. These are just some ideas to get you started. Not everyone can afford to go to the occult shop. We have a sort of a mad rush for the occult shop that we don't really need. The thing you have to understand, and this is the biggest thing, the freest and the biggest, you don't need to go to the occult shop to buy everything, or to Walmart or anywhere else for that matter. They help. The ingredients and the tools, they help. They're great, and they help you focus your intent. But the only ingredients that are indispensable, that you can't do without, are yourself, your energy, your mind, your intent, and your belief. You have to intend. You have to invest energy, and you have to believe in it and in yourself. Without those, no matter how much you buy, it won't do any good. And get this, you can do spells with just that, with just your energy. A quick chant for cleansing your home. And all it takes is your energy and your belief and your mind. And your voice, of course. You can use it with sage and with sage sprays, which is how I use it. But at first, it's okay to use it without any ingredients. As much as the ingredients help, your intent. You can walk through the house banging pots and pans together if that's what you think needs to get the spirit's attention. And just say, get the fuck out. If you believe and you put your intent to it, they will listen. Here's the chant. Negativity in my home, no longer will you roam. I cast you out to sea, where you will cease to be. That's it. It's really simple. It doesn't have to be something long. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. But it just has to serve the purpose. And the only thing you have to do is say it, intend it, and believe it. And put it, then after you get that down and the intention and the belief, you can add whatever ingredients or actions to it that you want. Either way, it will work. So, I have begun rambling and babbling, so I'm just going to close down and sort of wind down and talk about some housekeeping items for the channel. This is the second in the series, in the beginner series. I do not know if I'm going to start other things until I am done. I probably will start other topics and other discussions fairly soon and just continue this on the weekly basis, and I'll just do others as I get to them throughout. I'm also thinking about doing some just YouTube lives and upload and doing those on days like today when I'm just contemplating something rather profound like the universe and religion. I was just contemplating it all day. So on days like this, I might upload something, nothing fancy, nothing formal like this, but just wherever I am, uploading a short, 10-minute video. It's a thought, it's not for sure. I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of my first video ideas of what we're going to do. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to be making some sacred salts, a personal salt mixture with some other ingredients for my personal practice. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't climb the curtains. So that you can do it too if you so please. It's really simple, it's really fun, and I think that would be great. As well, I have planned in about 8 weeks, I'm going to start videoing it in a couple weeks, but then because of the nature of it, in 8 weeks, the ingredients will be finished infusing, and so we will pull them out and finish the video, and then I'll upload them then. And it's going to be a sage spray, so it's for those that can't burn things. It'll be a spray from sage that you can use in your cleansing. And those are two of the arts and crafts types things that I'm thinking about doing. I'm not really sure what else I'm going to start doing. I have different things like weekly tarot, weekly candle, weekly herb, or weekly crystal, and I have not decided which one I'm going to go with first. If you have any ideas about that, go ahead and put them in the comments below, which one you want to see first, last, not at all. And I will go ahead and read those and try to respond. If you have any other comments, go ahead and put them down, things you like, things you dislike, things you find annoying. If you have any tips for me that I did not share with you, I am not perfect. I am not your university teacher. I don't know everything, and so you can teach me as much as I teach you. So feel free to share those as well. Big thing, go ahead and subscribe for weekly videos and more. I might not do it weekly, I might do more than one a week, but at least one a week. Go ahead and subscribe and click that bell for the notifications. Before I keep talking, I'm going to go ahead and hang up. Alright, see y'all.